Good day, viewers. This is 300 Plus Academy, where all we do is exams, tutoring. Still on the business of WAEC 2025 Biology Practical. It's about time we look at all of the necessary drawings. What are the probable drawings we can have in this year's Biology Practical? Looking at specimen A, it is very likely we have to draw that in the exam. In some of the instruments to be provided for the exam, we have a magnifying lens or a hand lens. So with this hand lens, we might be told to examine specimen A and draw. So how do we go about the drawing? If we were told to use a magnifying lens, examine it and draw, let's say draw specimen A 8 to 10 centimeters. So if when they say 8 to 10 centimeters, what you're expected to do here, by the side of your paper, okay, let this be your 0 centimeters, let this be your 8 centimeter, and let this be your 10 centimeter. It means that your drawing should not be less than 8 centimeter and should not go out of 10 centimeters. So I think the starting point should be something like this, where you have, okay, let's have something this way. Let's have something this way. And then we go this way to the right, and we go same way to the left, okay, to the right, and then to the left, and then this should end somewhat like this, okay, and then we go again, moving down a curved part this way, and then a curved part, okay, we're starting this way. Now this should go in like this, more like a wing, and this should go in like this, more like a wing as well. That's going to be our elytron, and this is going to look like the protruding abdomen. You can see it's not going out of the 10. Then I'm going to draw my pointed rostrum, but before the pointed rostrum, I'm going to have another small curve part around here that's going to end this way. You can see that side, and then I'm going to have my pointed rostrum. Okay, let my pointed rostrum go this way. I'm going to have my pointed rostrum. So this is the main plan. I already ensured that the main plan is not going below 8 and it is not going to be less than 10 centimeters. So what am I going to do in this case? Okay, this is going to be the eye. And after that, this is the main plan. The remaining thing here now is to, of course, draw the appendages or the limbs. Okay, in that regard, I begin to give shape to this. This is going to look like my elytron, chitinous wings. It's taking shape already. Now this is going to be our protruding abdomen. Next thing is for us to begin to draw the appendages, talking about the limb. So this part is the thorax. We're going to draw a limb off from here. The limb is going to go something like this. Okay, let me make it go out this way. Okay, it's going to come down this way, and then, okay, one limb is going off, and then I'm going to extend that to come off this way. Okay, you can see this, and then this, and then after that we begin to have some set of other smaller limbs. You see, you can see the shape, and then I'm going to go in this way. You see, that's the plan. So that I then break this off this way. You can see this is the first limb. It's going to be on the thorax. What I've done here, I'm going to do same thing here, and this is what I'm going to have in that regard. I'm going this way now. I'm going this way now. So in drawing this, I need to go this way. The same thing, the plants have to be the same. Okay, thereafter, I'm going to go out, make it curved. Once I've done that, I come back in, you can see the plant, you can see, and then I go this way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Once I've done this, and then I go 1, 2, and 3, and then I do this. I've been able to draw the first limb that is on the thorax, and then the second limb is going to be in between the thorax and the abdominal region, just about this edge. I'm going to go down this way, and when I go down this way, let me make this short. I'm going to go down this way and this way, and then I'm going to go again for the second one. You see that? And once I've done that, I'm going to have a third one here, which should go a bit to the outside. And then the ending part, which should be somewhat sharp. So I've been able to draw another appendage. Exactly what I do here, I have to do the same thing here. So we're going out this way. And then another limb, which is going to end somewhat sharp. You see that? And then the third one, which should be short. And then the last one, of course. So I've been able to draw the second one in between the thorax and the abdominal region, while the fourth one is going to be towards the end. I'm going to ensure it doesn't go out of the 10 cm mark. And what I'm going to have here is going to go somewhat like this. You see that? I could draw this side as well and make the base a lot more bigger. And then I'm going to go the second one. I'm going to go the second one here. Okay, let me make it to the side. And then the third one is going to look somewhat broken. These are going to be broken extension, like 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. The last one is going to be sharp, and then like this. I've been able to draw this, and this is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go this way. So you see, that's the basic plan. So you see 3 pairs of limbs. That's the jointed appendage. It's not going out of the 10 cm mark. The next thing is for us to draw the antenna. The antenna should be an offshoot from the pointed rostrum. I'm going to go this way. I want to ensure that it doesn't go out. I'm going to go this way, as I come this way, and then I'm going to have something looking this way. You can see that I'm going to go this way, and then I'm going to have something, bulging out like a circle this way. And after that, I'm going to go like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a big bulge here, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a big bulge here, making it the 5th one. Then something pointed at the end of this, and then I'm going to do the same here. 1, making it very small. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then something bulges here, and then I'm going to have something pointed here, so that what we have here is actually the antenna. It should be pointed. It should be pointed. So what I have here is the antenna, and this here is the basic plan. The next thing is for us to label this. So, so what is our labeling going to look like? This is the rostrum. This is the antenna. This is the antenna here. This is the eye. The compound eye is on the head region, and then this here. That's the first pair of walking legs. Now this is the thorax, the chest region. Now this is the second pair of legs. Now this is supposed to be the abdomen, but the abdomen, as you can see on the image on your screen, the abdomen has been covered by what? Wings. This here is the four wings. Elytra, singular elytron, is a chitinous elytron that protects the inner membranous wings for flying. This also protects the abdomen. So the abdomen is underneath. So this here is the four wings. So that's why underneath here we have segments covered by wings. This here, second pair of walking legs. Now, this is your tibia, just like we also have tibia, and these are the tarsals, just the same way we have tarsals. Okay, underneath here to protrude after the elytron, that's four wings, is what we call the abdomen, and that just about ends the labeling of specimen A. Being, if you look at the rostrum, with this rostrum, it pierces through specimen B, bean seed, dogs the hole, and gets inside of the bean seed to wreak havoc, causing great loss for farmers. So that is the end of specimen A. If we were told to draw, a hand lens is part of the instrument that is going to be made available. You're going to observe specimen A with your hand lens, and then you will draw what you can see, and it should be something in this format. So what else are we expected to draw? The next thing is going to be water leaf plant, old water leaf plant, talking about Talinum species. The starting point is to draw the stem first. We go something like this. And when we draw the stem, we get to a point, let's say at this point, we want to draw the root, which should be swollen, so to speak. It should be swollen, and it's going to be a taproot. This part looks swollen, and from the swollen part, you see, you draw some extensions, making it looks more like root hairs. We could go something like this. It's a taproot, so the root must be there for efficient anchorage and water absorption. Now that we have this, okay, we can continue here. Okay, let's say the root part starts from here. The root starts from here, and then the next thing is to work on this part. Okay, I'm going to leave a space here because there are things I'd like to draw here. Then I'm going to make the top part looks a bit slender than this, so it doesn't have to be as straight actually. So when you get here, you're beginning to get to the terminal board, so you could go this way, you could go this way, and then one at the center as well, so that at the end here, what we are having are the terminal boards, the flowers, and all of that. That's what we are having at the end here, and here, these are the flowers at the end. You could have something like this. You could have things that looks as though it's holding this. Make sure not to shade, and then you go to the side where you're still looking at having other, just the flowers at the end. We've been able to deal with that side. Now, when we come to this side, we must now begin to look at other branches. So we could have a branch this way, we could have another branch this way, and in those branches, okay, it's not, it's going to be somewhat slender, you know. So when we get to this point, uh, you see, it's looking somewhat like ending in a leaf and some, small buds like this. And then on this side, we're going to repeat exactly what we have here, make it look slender. And then at this point, we're going to have our leaf here, you know. At this point, we could have one leaf at this point. We could also have another leaf that goes downwards this way, and then you want to draw your venations, okay, something like, okay, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. That gives the shape of a leaf generally, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. And then you go same here, same here. So that side is sorted. We have about three leaves here. In coming here, you can begin to have smaller leaves, you know, and then smaller leaves that goes this way, this way, this way. You see, it's looking more like a leaf. It's beginning to take shape. Then you could have another one here, and then at the end here, you could have even more. I want to make the end, a bit slender. So showing that, you see, these are big leaves for the plants, and then I want to have another one here, like that. And then at the end, I want to have something that is looking like a terminal bud at the end, as though the leaf is going to bud off from that point. And then I could come here and also continue with the same pattern, having numerous leaves for photosynthesis. So I go this way, this way, this way, this way. That's my leaf. I could open up another one here. It goes same way, same way, same way, same way. I could have even more. Just, the pattern, like you're having leaves all through. And having done that, I could also make this one end with a leaf, you know. And that's just about the basic plan for that part. I could come here, okay. Let me begin to have something that looks like a tiny leaf stalk here. And from here, and then I have my leaves budding off, you know, and it's going this way. It's beginning to take shape. It's beginning to take shape. And here, I'm going to have something tiny budding off. And then here, I could have another leaf that goes just direct. You can see that. So this is beginning to look appropriately the way it should look. So many leaves on. You can also see what I am drawing on the image on your screen. So this looks like the root. This looks like the apex of this plant. We could work a bit more on the root. It's a tap root, that extends, and we could leave this way. That's just about the basic plan. That's just about the basic plan. I could have a leaf even going, across this way. That's just about the basic plan. So the next thing is the labeling. So what should the labeling look like? Towards the end, this is the fruit. This is the terminal bud. At the end, you can see in the diagram on your screen. This is the flower. It bears flower. You can see the flower on the diagram on your screen when you talk about what the leaf. This here is the branch. These are branches. These are branches. Now, this is an axillary bud. There is another axillary bud here. This is a branch. This is a leaf stalk. You know, this stalk that comes out just like this. This here is a leaf stalk. This is a leaf stalk. These are the leaves themselves. In between this leaf and this leaf on the stem, that is the internode. Now, this is the stem proper. These are the stems proper. Look at it, stem. Now, talking about the roots, this is the swollen tap root. Now, when the root branches to the side, we call that lateral. Anytime you hear the word lateral, it means to the side, lateral root to the side. This is the main swollen tap root that stores food. This is the lateral root, and these are root hairs, offshoots from the lateral roots. These are all root hairs. That's just about the labeling for specimen B, talking about Talinum species. So next up is specimen D, talking about quill feather. We might likely get that. So how do we go about the drawing of the quill feather? We're going to have a plan like this. You know, when we go up like this, and then at the base, okay, let's have something like this. Then as we go up, it should get slender, all slendered up, you know, until we have something like this. And then at the top, we have to go something like this. So the next thing for us is to begin to draw the vein. We can start, you know, from the top here. The vein should just be about the same line as we begin to draw it, you know. These are the vein, V-A-N-E. So you can then increase this. You know, just to make sure, you know, that spacing is not really there again. Now that's the vein. So that's the basic plan for the quill feather. After that is the superior umbilicus and the after shaft. We could go this way. From where we're going to get our, from here we're going to get our superior umbilicus and the after shaft. And then here, something like a painting here to get the inferior umbilicus. This is the basic plan. So the next thing is the labeling. Now talking about the labeling, you see the space between the lines here is the vein, and then the line itself is the barb. Then the one we have at the center here, that is the shaft or rachis. And then we have the after shaft just about here, after shaft. And then we have the superior umbilicus and then the inferior umbilicus. That is just the basic labeling for specimen D, talking about quill feather, and that just about ends that. Next up is specimen E, talking about the longitudinal section of pineapple fruit. Can we be asked to draw that? Okay, let's just try it out. So as you can see what you should draw on your screen, but let me put it on the board so that you get how you start and maybe how you can put things right. So the basic plan is to have something like a curve this way and then another curve this way. So we're going to have a little twist to this all over the entire length. We begin to cut the curve, and something goes this way. We cut it off, it goes this way. The same line, it goes this way, it goes this way, all through the entire length. It goes this way, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this, all through the entire length, so that we open this up, all through the entire length, all through the entire length. So we've done that on this side, we do the same on this side. After we've done that all through the entire length, this forms the basis for what the shape is going to look like on the inside, you know. This is what the shape is going to look like on the inside. That's what the shape is going to look like on the inside. We might then begin to clean up the mess. We're going to leave something at the center. There is this central placentation at the center. You remember it's the longitudinal section. We'll do the same thing on this side. We'll do the same thing. This is what the basic plan is going to be on the inside of the longitudinal section. Once we've done this, this here up is going to continue as our leaves, which we're going to deal with much later. But at the end of this is going to protrude. That's how we're going to have, this is the basic plan. Then on the inside, we're going to put the fleshy portion in there. By the fleshy part on the inside, we just go all through the entire length. We just go all through the entire length. This here, these are the fleshy portion. And then at the edge, we're likely going to have some seeds. And that's just about the plan for this side. And then the next thing is going to be the central placentation, of course, protruding to give us the crown. The aftershaft is going to produce to give us, is going to protrude to give us the crown of the pineapple itself. And that's the plan we're going to have all through the length. You can see that all through the length. That's on the, it's going to be on the after shaft. So this is the crown. These are the fleshy parts of the pineapple itself. So we already have the basic plan. So the next thing is for us to get the labeling all in. And so what does the labeling look like? What the core ends up as is the crown. And that's the crown of scale leaves. This forms the crown. This is the base of the crown. Now on the outside, these are the shells. The shells on the outside are the various ovaries that comes together to form the specimen itself, the pineapple fruit itself. And here, you know, are the seeds at the edge. And then this at the end here, mainly just after the seed, that is the sepal and brad bases. This here is the core, that's the inflorescence axis, and here is the base. That just about ends the longitudinal section of specimen E. And that just about ends and that just about ends specimen E, talking about the longitudinal section of pineapple fruit. So next up is orange fruit, talking about its transverse section. If we are to draw this, what should it look like? So talking about the drawing of specimen F, orange fruit, the transverse section, how should we draw this? The starting point is for us to, first of all, get our circle drawn. You can see once you have your circle, then the rest, you can get it done. The next thing is for you to draw numerous sectors that meet at the center. I could go this way and I could end this way. So I'm going to continue that pattern. I'm going to continue that pattern. Just that pattern, nothing more. I'll make sure they are close up. Just like more like a sector, and then the sector meets at the center to give the right placentation. We are almost there. And then, of course, this will be the last one. So you can see they all sort of aggregate at the center. And after we must have drawn that, we'll draw another circle very close to the first one we drew. That should be on the outside. You are not expected to use a protractor here like most students like to do. After you've drawn that, the next thing is to draw the seeds. The seed should go something like, when we take our orange, we do have seeds at the center. Let me make this here so that I have like 2 seeds, okay? So these are my seeds at the center. You can see the placentation at the center. And the other thing is for me to have the succulent part. I could go like this, This here should form the succulent part. And I'm just going to continue that pattern so that this sort of forms the succulent part, that contains the juice itself, the orange juice itself. This looks like the succulent part. I could do that, all over, This forms the succulent part. So I will be doing that for all of the sectors, but to just get straight into things, let's leave it this way. You are to do this, you repeat it for all of the sectors. These are the succulent part, these here are the seeds. So the next thing is for us to label. The outermost, that should be the epicap. Just after that, you're going to have the mesocap. And here is the endocap on the inside. This is the juicy endocap where we get our orange juice. These here are the seeds. This is the seed. At the center, this is the placenta. Now this here is the succulent air. And that's just about the basic labeling for the transverse section of orange fruit. Very simple, but pay attention about the length. If you're being told 8 to 10 centimeter or 10 to 12 centimeter, remember this is going to be like your 0 centimeter mark. Let's say this here is about your 8 centimeter mark, and then this point here is about your 10 centimeter mark. We are still within range. We've not gone out. See, it's not less than 8 and it's not more than 10. And then your labeling, that's just about all you need to do. You don't have to paint, you don't have to shade and all of that. That ends specimen F, talking about the transverse section of orange fruit. Now the last one where we are expecting some drawing is the longitudinal section of boiled egg with the shell intact. If we were told to draw specimen J, what are we expected to do? So what should our diagram look like? It should do something like this. So I think we need to go center like this, and then we're going to go somewhat this way. Okay, is this looking like an egg? Okay, we're just going to make do with this. I think the base should be Yeah, while this should go a bit, while this should go a bit up, this should also go a bit up, but not too pointed. Okay, we're going to have the oval shape like this, and we're going to trace that out once more. And after that, we're going to trace that once more, but watch how this is going to end at the base. The outermost is like the shell. Now I'm going to stop somewhere around here, and then I'm going to go this way, and then stop somewhere around here as well, and then I'm going to go like this. So this is looking at like the base plan for the longitudinal section of a boiled egg. And at the center, I'm going to talk about my yolk. All I need to draw is a circle at the center, and I'm then going to repeat that, closely knitted together. This here is going to be my yolk at the center. This is the basic plan. Now, the next thing for us to do is just the labeling. So after all of the layers is about four, the outermost is the shell, followed by the shell membrane. And after that, at the center, you have the chorion, and then innermost, you have the yolk. You can see that the spherical drawing here. This is the chorion, this is the yolk. Then this is the egg white or albumin, and then this is the air space. That is just about the labeling for the longitudinal section of the boiled egg. And with that, I think we've covered what might likely be our drawing for this year's 2025 WAEC Biology practical. And that just about ends that. For myself and the entire team, it's bye for now.